Wellness. I'm your host, Andrea Barrett, and tonight we're talking about one of my favorite food groups. Can you guess? Snacks. Stay tuned. Welcome back to 360 Wellness. I'm holistic nutritionist Andrea Barrett, and yes, today we're talking about one of my favorite food groups. It's debatable if it's a food group or not. I'm talking about snacks. Listen, I haven't met a snack that I don't like. I'm one of those grazers, and it's something I encourage people to do because it keeps your blood sugar nice and stable. But snacks, healthy snacks, crunchy snacks, snacks full of protein, fat, and fiber are one of my favorites. So tonight we have a snack expert joining us, fellow Canadian Marcia Hebert. Welcome, Marcia.
Hi, thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to talk about snacks. That's my favorite. I love cookies, cakes, cupcakes,
Yeah.
and all that deliciousness.
Yep. The ones that are full of all the good stuff. So now, where are you? Where are you, Marcia?
I am in Calgary, Alberta, the
Okay, good.
West.
Yes. And so, how's it going out there? We know we are, month 17 or 18 in the pandemic. How have you guys been coping? How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. I mean, I think we're doing better than most. I mean, you hear it on the news that we're not so good, but overall, people are complying with rules, and some people have their own opinions on it. But I think overall, we're doing really as well as we can do.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it. So, for those not familiar with Marcia, Marcia, please introduce yourself and tell our viewers all about you.
Well, my name is Marsha. I am the founder of Eat for Life by Marsha, our company that we create nutritious, healthy, gluten-free and dairy-free recipes that can be seen in our magazine, our cookbooks, and our recipe packs. We provide the ingredients for these nutritious recipes. We're mostly focused on our Snackalicious pack, which is about snacking. A lot of times you feel guilty or don't eat this, don't eat that, and I was just tired of it. I'm like, why can't I have my cookies and be happy? So I just like created the cookies from nuts and seeds,
Mm.
muffins with all the delicious healthy flours, cakes like never before. So next time you pick up a cookie, you won't be feeling guilty about it.
Oh, I love that. That's right. Eat that cookie. When I growing up, desserts and snacks and all that stuff really were my favorite food group. And we start off with a slow transition. You start off buying the commercial store-bought stuff that's full of all those bad ingredients. Then you get a little educated and then you learn to make better choices and get some great recipes like you offer so you can make better things. So can you take us on your journey? How did this all begin?
Oh, you know what? This started. I've been in Canada for over a few years now. I won't say. Um, my daughter. I have a young adult daughter. She's going to be 30. I won't say her age. I won't say my age. And I think my daughter was my inspiration. So initially, when I got to Canada, I was diagnosed with anemia, and the doctor said to me, like, you need more iron, and you
Mhm.
need to eat broccoli. I'm
Mhm.
like, broccoli? I don't know what broccoli was. I just came from Jamaica. I'm like a teenager, and he's telling me to eat broccoli. I'm
Mhm.
thinking about like cookies and donuts and all the, all the good food that tastes good but not necessarily good for you.
Yeah.
And so, beyond known to me, I did not know that I had a gluten and dairy problem. I suffered for many years with gut issues, acne. I had acne under my skin that you couldn't get rid of,
Mhm.
rash, skin rash, just gut wrenching pain, like anxiety, depression, overweight. I was like arthritis. I was developing these arthritis symptoms, and so after a while I was sick and tired of it. I was like, I'm not going out like this, and sick and tired of feeling guilty about my muffin and cookies, and I just one day I just got up from my desk. I was in corporate, got up from my office desk, and my leg fell out under me like rubber.
Oh.
That freaked me out. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't go out like this and leave my daughter behind. And so then I started thinking about the way we grew up in Jamaica, where we had a lot of healthy foods and eating, and we didn't think about calories and all the bad stuff and what's going to happen to you. And then I just started, I just said, God, like, I just like, please help me. I just get up one morning, I start making recipes. I mean, my family, my mom in Jamaica, she owns a restaurant, a home-based restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided to take a nutrition course because I wanted to understand the natural food nutrients.
Yes.
And so after that course, oh my gosh, Andrea, that blew me away.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, a natural gift that you never knew about.
Yeah.
And then I just started looking at the nuts and the seeds, and I knew how to comb the food together because of my mom growing up in a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew how to make the cookies and all the cakes and all that. And then I was just excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I can eat my cookie and still be healthy,
Yeah.
you know? And so that's when it started. I was like, no more pain. So after a while, as you can tell, compared to when I was in my 20s, the pain was gone. My arthritis got better.
Mm-hmm.
I had no arthritis, period. The acne on my face just cleared up. I was eating my snacks and not feeling guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have more than one cookie. You know, it's always like, you hear eat less. Well, have one cookie instead of two cookie, but I want two cookie. You know, have dessert last, but I want my dessert first. You know, have a piece of cake. I want the whole cake. Like it was. So
I hear you. And you know what? I can relate. Like really, desserts. I feel like I was born with a sweet tooth. I really, as a child, craved all that gooey, chocolatey, caramelly, that kind of thing. But like you're right, you develop these aches and pains, you gain weight, your skin doesn't look great, you don't have enough energy, and you're confused as to why. And you want to eat snacks, and I think it's okay to eat snacks, it's just what we were eating. But you're right, when you replace it with wholesome ingredients, with natural sugars, with good sources of fiber and protein, you can go ahead and have that cookie, or you can have those muffins, or you can have, you know, pastries that are made with coconut flour or almond flour or all that good stuff. So I want to hear about some of the ingredients. So break it down in terms of raw materials. What types of gluten-free, dairy-free ingredients should people look for? And then if people want to get your book or your desserts, how does this happen?
Okay, so we have our Snackalicious cookbook, which is all about cookies, cakes, and cupcakes. That was our first cookbook because we knew that was a big problem. I mean, it has shown the Canadian government have shown that the reason why we still have diet-related health condition is because of unhealthy snacking, even though eating healthy is huge, and now is the time for it. So I made sure that my first cookbook was going to be a snack cookbook. And so that is like with cookies, cakes, cupcakes, like I said. So break it down for you. This week, coming up at the end of August, we are doing a cookie initiative with the Calgary Pride from August 27th to September 30th. So I created 3 yummy, delicious cookies. I have one called Cocoa Keto, which is made with almond flour, cocoa powder, and sprinkles, organic, gluten-free, dairy-free sprinkles. My second cookie I called Vivi Vegan, which is made with, get this, matcha green tea powder, like beautiful green, you could think of powder.
Yeah.
And that has the same almond flour, sprinkled vegan butter. We use all the gluten-free and dairy-free stuff in there.
That sounds so good. I love matcha anything, matcha tea, or like, but so you've got matcha cookies. So these, oh, that sounds good. Ooh, I love that. So you've come up with different recipes with great ingredients. Sorry, go ahead.
Sometimes I even use a spinach to make like spinach cookies made from spinach powder.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even tell. You can't even tell.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds good. But I guess kids are probably turned off by a green cookie, but it's okay. The green cookies are really for your parents. Leave the cookies alone and let your parents eat those green cookies. This sounds great. Okay, so where can people get your books? And then I want to hear about the whole recipe development and recipe testing process. So first, the books. Where do people get your books?
Well, they can get our books from our website, eatforlifebymarsha.com.
Okay.
You know, they can also go on our social media and get our books. Again, Eat for Life by Marsha. even just type in Marsha, you will find me in the Google search.
Yeah. So, Marcia, how long have you been in business, and what has it been like for your daughter? So, you mentioned you have a daughter. Did she gravitate towards this lifestyle, this way of eating? What's her journey or her experience been?
She didn't know she was doing it. It was her, like, it was the thing of too, it was like I had made milkshake. So the milkshake was blueberries, was applesauce, was yogurt,
Mm.
and with kale, frozen kale. And she did not know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
It just tasted like milkshake to her. So I made sure that the flavors of what is used to, I made sure those flavors maintained in the healthy process, the healthy eating process. So, and then for her, it was cookies. She loved cookies. So I made a lot of cookies from nuts and seeds. Again, pumpkin seeds, almond, everything. She did not know. So everything was made from just wholesome ingredients. And again, because of my experience growing up in my mom's restaurant
Mm-hmm.
and learning how to cook and make things taste yummy, I wanted to transfer that same yumminess to the using the natural foods. So it's just, and for her now, she's older, and I wanted to teach her how to cook.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how she learned. Like now she makes pumpkin seeds with rice. She called it her pumpkin seeds fry rice.
So instead of rice and peas, it's rice and pumpkin seeds.
It's right, exactly. And she stir fry it with some eggs. So I don't have to be concerned. She's just so used to it right now, and she knows, like, for her health. My daughter, she has like some like cognitive issues, and one of the things that I study was what are the brain foods that would help her develop.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I stick to those things. I make sure I have those ingredients. I make sure I make anything that she wants from those ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen my daughter improve, and I'm so proud of her. And for her to continue to eat healthy in that way, I am very proud of her.
That is fantastic. Okay, give me three. Give me three tips on what brain foods are. So what do you encourage people who want optimal brain health, great cognitive function? What three foods or three ingredients should they look for?
Nuts and seeds. You can't go wrong with nuts and seeds. It has a lot of the magnesium, potassium, zinc that we need for our body, for our hair, for our skin, for our brain. So nuts and seeds. And now they have like the butter. Now they have it where you can get like almond butter, peanut butter, cashew butter, all the butters. You can replace, if you just want to start out small, you can actually get the nuts and seed butter and replace it with your actual butter in bacon. And that's just a little step, but it's a huge difference on your body. And then the other thing is your whole grains. I use always gluten and dairy free, like gluten-free whole grains. So oat flour, before they didn't have that. But and oat flour is one of the most affordable ones, but very healthy. And you can use just oats and just ground it in your blender, and that works as well. Cassava flour is a good one. They have almond flour. But cassava flour, you can replace it with your actual all-purpose flour, and that is major because it has a lot of nutrients that is just good for your overall body to prevent a lot of diet-related diseases. That's really helpful. And then your protein. If you're not a meat eater, which I don't even talk about meat eating when it comes to snack, I use mostly like beans. I use white beans to make like a creamy sauce. I use white beans to make a muffin and sweet potato. I use sweet potato. I made a vegan chocolate sweet potato cookie.
Oh,
like that is.
When is the plane taking me to Calgary? Listen, I need you to make me a batch and just put it in the freezer until I arrive. That
you got
sounds so good. It's like this show makes me hungry. And just listening to you, I'm like, what do I have in the kitchen? Or how do I get some of this? I just love that. So I just want to go back for a moment. I hope everyone watching has been taking notes. Marcia suggests lots of nuts and seeds and nut butter, cashew butter, pumpkin seed butter, almond butter. She didn't say store-bought conventional nut butter where you read the ingredients and the first ingredient is sugar or icing sugar or some kind of sweetener. Make sure you're getting clean, natural butters. So you can go to your local bulk store to purchase this, or your health food store, or your grocery store, but always turn it over and read the label. Don't be, blinded or overly impressed by what's on the front of the packaging. Turn it over, read the back, and read the ingredients. If you're buying almond butter, the first ingredient should be almond. It should be almonds. So make sure that you're getting that. And she's talking about great sources of flours, oat flour, cassava flour. So I know, Marsha, you're Jamaican. You come from the islands. So cassava, very popular in the Caribbean. So cassava flour sounds great. I am wondering, did you grow up like I'd say I grew up, white flour in the house, hardo bread, smells so nice on a Saturday morning, white rice and curry goat, but lots of carby, starchy things. Did you grow up that way, and was it like a hard transition for you when you came to Canada? And then you started making these healthier choices.
Yes. Yes, I do. And the hardest for me was that bread and butter
The
at night.
hardo bread?
Yes, you know how you do it. At night, you sit down and you have to have your bread and butter and
Yep.
that soft, either hardo bread or that soft, like whole wheat roll.
Yep.
That was my kryptonite. Okay. So it was became like I was angry because when I found out, I was like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? And that was the thing that I needed to go was the bread. But not only that, here's the trickery in this. So you think you're gluten free, and then you think, okay, I'm gonna cut out the white flour, I'm gonna cut out the white bread. But then what you don't realize, cornstarch is a problem. That was huge for me. So I thought, okay, I'm going to cut out all the gluten free. And then I found out that the cornstarch made the same problems, the same gut issues. So I always tell people, read the label. When they come to me, I get texts, I get pictures, people sending me stuff. They say, what do you think of this? The first thing I say to them is, turn it around. Yes. I want to see the ingredients, and then I will tell you what I think about it. Yeah. Just showing me a picture that says gluten free does not help me. Turn it around and I'll tell you whether or not it's good for you.
Yeah, that's such a good point, because there are some terms that are not regulated. Like on the front, that's why we always say turn the label around. On the front, you'll see things like light, L-I-G-H-T, or L-I-T-E, or natural, or 0%, or fat-free, or fill-in-the-blank free, gluten-free. I say beware of foods, packaging that's screaming at you. Apples don't scream at you. Broccoli doesn't scream at you. And cucumbers are just like chilling. They're not screaming at you. Anything that has all of this fancy marketing on the front is suspect until you turn it around and you can read the ingredients. That's how you'll know if what you're eating really is what you should be eating. But a question for you about, you said aches and pains. So previous to switching your diet, you had some arthritis, you had some gut issue, some skin issue. How was your energy? How long did it take you to go from, let's call her old Marsha, to new, fantastic, absolutely stunning Marsha?
You know what? In 3 to 7 days, you will notice a difference. And here's what happened in 3 to 7 days. If you have low energy and you're just tired and depressed, when you are eating greens, like get your greens in. When you are eating nuts and seeds, in 3 days, it will pass by and you're like, oh, I didn't feel like this. I didn't feel bad about myself. I didn't feel.
I know that when I started eating more greens,
face and your skin.
Yeah, you do get more energy. It's because of the foods you're adding into your diet, and there's the foods that you're no longer consuming. Food has such an impact on the way you look, on the way you feel, on the way you think. It affects your productivity, it affects your creativity, it affects your mood, it affects everything. So bring in more of that good stuff. So you're talking about the greens. What about liquids, fluids? What were you drinking before that you are no longer consuming now? And are there any liquid snacks?
I wasn't drinking enough water. And I also wasn't juicing at all. So ever since that, I drink a lot of water. It's still natural for me to just drink my water. You just have to train yourself to just pick up a glass of water before, in the morning, after any meals. And then the liquid snack for me is juicing. Smoothies and juice is my favorite. When I was in corporate, or even now, like when I do my workouts and stuff, after a workout, I will just juice, and I juice in a very, I wouldn't say intense. I'm not going to call it intense. I juice in a very nutritious way. Sometimes like you get a juice, people that juice, sometimes they're not necessarily being totally nutritious. Just remember this, if you are not a healthy person, like healthy person, then you need to do more than just the recommended, what they're telling you to juice. for me, again, because of my anemia and because of my low energy and just issues that I was having with my skin, like I still to this day, I juice one head of romaine, one orange, one apple, and one small cucumber. And that's what I do in my juicing. Every day I juice that and I'm hydrated. My skin is much better. It's just juicing is so important. If you can't eat all your food, like a big salad or whatever, juice it. Just juice it.
I like that. Okay, let's go back. Give us the recipe for the Marsha juice. Tell us again. What does Marsha put in her juice?
Okay, so it's one head of romaine, not 2 or 3 leaves. You need one full head
One
of
head.
romaine.
Okay, yep.
One apple, because the apple is the stuff, the stuff in apple is good for wrinkles and things like that in the skin. It has that lycopene. It's good stuff.
Red apple, green apple, yellow apple, Granny Smith, tart. What kind of apple? We want the Marsha
doesn't
recipe.
matter. Put your apple in, whatever apple works for you. And one orange, and you need one, like a cucumber, like a small cucumber. If you want, you can just put one. And ginger is optional, but I love it with ginger. Ginger is really yummy. So ginger as well. And that's it. And every day, juice that. Don't even need to change it. Don't even need to mix it up. That is your daily hydration. You've had your greens in for the day. So if you're not going to do anything else all day, just go. And it's very inexpensive to get all those ingredients at the store. Yeah. You're done. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. So good point she mentioned there. These are inexpensive ingredients. We're talking about produce, not the expensive produce. This is produce you'll find easily on sale at your local grocery store. This is a great way to get this into your body. You're going to flood your body with all these great nutrients, and it's going to hydrate you and give you energy. And I like that you mentioned adding ginger. Ginger is amazing for, right here, all this digestion. Ginger is really, really good. So some of us may remember when we were little, if we had a tummy ache, your mom or dad would give you some ginger tea, or grandma would give you some ginger tea. Ginger is really good for your digestion. This Marsha juice sounds great. I'm gonna have to go buy my ingredients tomorrow and then have my juice on the weekend. So this sounds great. Tell me about sweeteners or sugars. What do you use in your baking?
So in my baking, I use a natural sweetener. So it's like called erythritol. It's like a keto. A lot of people who are on keto diets use this sweetener. The other sweeteners that I use organic golden sugar, and then sometimes I use brown sugar. I'm Jamaican. I can't give up my brown sugar.
She's Jamaican. She can't give up our brown sugar. Okay, Miss Jamaican. What about condensed milk? So when and I can say this, I come from a Jamaican household. We grew up with condensed milk in the fridge. Today, more older educated Andrea, I go to people's house and I take the condensed milk and I just put it in my bag. I rid their home of condensed milk because I think it's so bad for you. It is way too sweet and you don't need that. I'm really saving your life. I have been uninvited from a few homes because I go into the kitchen and take things out, but I'm trying to save your life. Tell me about the condensed milk, Marsha.
But there is alternative. I was going to say, just don't do it. Just don't do it. The thing about it is that we want deliciousness. We don't necessarily, we have to stick to condensed milk. We just need alternative ways. And that's what I provide for people, alternative ways to have their deliciousness without the guilt. But now, guess what? They have the coconut condensed milk. So instead of the regular condensed milk, you can purchase the coconut condensed milk. And they have a lot more stuff coming out where you can replace a lot of your usual stuff.
So we've seen, while you're grocery shopping, we've seen more almond flavors or almond-based products, more nut-based products. I'm now seeing a lot of oat-based products. Something that I commonly hear from people who are trying a gluten-free diet or lifestyle is when they're baking, things fall apart. Is there a trick or a technique or a magical ingredient that keeps things firm? Because we know that's what gluten does. That gluten is a protein that keeps things together, like breads and light and fluffy, but it gives it its shape. Any suggestions or ideas for the amateur gluten-free bakers out there who are going to pick up your book and make some desserts?
Yes, they just have to follow me on social media and check out my website because I give a lot of recipes that I don't put in. A lot of things that they do recommend. They'll tell you exactum gum. There's another one. I don't use any of that. I wanted to do it so that when you go to the grocery store, everything you need in an affordable way was at the grocery store. So I don't use any exactum gum. I don't use any what they call things that make you stuff that stick together, I don't do that. All it is for what it is the way we do the recipe, is things that we
Mm.
use. So I give you an example. So if you're making a vegan, like I make a vegan cookie, I use maple syrup. Maple syrup is a good binder. A lot of people don't know this. Here's
Okay.
your number one tip. You're hearing it
Yeah,
from me.
yeah.
Okay. Maple syrup is a good binder. Also, your beans, like white beans.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I use recipes, I use white beans. Think of it as protein.
Mm-hmm.
Yogurt is a good one. So when you're thinking about binders, you want to think high protein. That's definitely what you want to think. And so you get that in your yogurt, in your beans, and in your nuts and seeds. When I make like a scone, I make sure that I have like the almond butter. I make sure that I use like a high like almond flour, so high protein.
Mm.
Chocolate chip. Now they have vegan, like allergy friendly, not just vegan, but they have vegan chocolate chip. And if you want to use it as a binder, you can use chocolate as a binder as well too. So you don't need exactum gum. You don't need all these
Okay, yeah.
extra things. I wanted to do it so that the stuff, when you go and look, all the stuff you could get in your grocery store. And if you need it, you can also order the ingredients from my website as well, because we make it that if people couldn't get the ingredients, we do our recipe packs where we put the essential ingredients in those packs.
Okay, great. Okay, good. Okay, let's talk about these recipe packs. So again, I'm in Toronto and you're in Calgary. So tell me how this works. If I want a kit or a pack, and tell us all your website again, please.
Yes. So what we do is for our recipe packs, we create, because we understood that a lot of people may not have these ingredients. And, a lot of stores don't have them as well. Some stores do, some stores don't. So the recipe pack, what you get in a box, in our subscription box, is that you get 3 recipe cards, step-by-step recipe cards that show you how to make these recipes. And in the pack, you also get about 2 to 3 essential ingredients. So you might have like 2 flours, almond flour, cassava flour,
Mm.
and you might have some like vegan chocolate chips. You'll have the vegan chocolate depending on the recipe. And
Mm-hmm.
then we also give you some gadgets. That could be like a cookie cutter. It could be the microwave. Like we have like a microwavable muffin gadget. We
Mm.
have like measuring spoons, like those gadgets that you get. And then you also get a subscription, an online subscription to our bi-monthly magazine, where you can use the ingredients to make more recipes. We give you full package ingredients. Not only you can make 3 recipes from the recipe cards,
Yeah.
but you also can make the recipes in my cookbooks, and you also can make the recipes in my magazine. We wanted to
Nice.
give people options, variety, and endless possibilities, to more ways to be healthy.
Marsha, this sounds amazing. It sounds like a lot of value, and everyone needs to get a subscription box from Marsha. Can you please tell us again the website? Where do people go? And then tell us, then I want to hear more about the book. So, first, about the websites where people can go and order their subscription boxes. You're going to send me like cookie cutters. I want one.
Yes, again, the website is eatforlifebymarsha.com. Eatforlifebymarsha.com is our website. Our social media, they can also check it out as well too.
Okay, and this book, I can also get the book there?
Yes, the cookbook you can get. We're coming out with our next cookbook is Snackalicious
Good.
2 by the end of September. And
Good.
we're going to have more cookies, cupcakes, and more. So if you want to see something, we tell people, send us your recipes, hook up us, find us on social media, and we create recipes for the people. Like we tell people, give us your ingredients. Like
Mm-hmm.
some people, they don't know what to do with the ingredients. Just give us your ingredients and we create recipes for them. So Snackalicious 2 is coming out at the end of September with more cookies, cupcakes, and more that are made from wholesome ingredients. And all of it is gluten-free and dairy-free.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, everybody, you heard it here first. Snackalicious 2 is coming out this September. Are you taking pre orders now, or do we just follow you on social media and just wait until the news drops?
Follow and social media, because we have specials. So follow us in social medias and you can get our special offers.
Okay, and do you ship outside of Canada? Because we have viewers globally, right around the world on GBK
Yes,
Network.
we ship all across Canada. Yes, we do. Yeah.
Okay, and then to our friends outside of the country, do you ship to the US or internationally?
No, not yet. We
Not
are
yet.
working on that.
Okay,
That's our
that
New
means,
Year goal.
everyone follow her on social media and then put a little bit of pressure on, and she'll hopefully get a book to you, or can you imagine getting a subscription box one day from Marsha if you're outside of Canada? It sounds great. I look forward to ordering my subscription box because I want these ingredients. I've worked with almond flour and oat flour, haven't had a lot of experience with cassava flour. And again, when I think cassava, that's something we grew up, that was always in the house. Your parents from the Caribbean and probably from other parts of the world. Cassava is such a great and important staple. And like Marsha said, if you have any gluten intolerances or you just want to try something new, try different flours, oat flour, white bean flour, black bean flour. You know, I'm no Marsha the baker, but I do make a mean chocolate black bean muffin, right? No flour. You're just using beans. Me and my little blender, blending up the beans, doing my thing. It works. Try different things, experiment. And if you're nervous or you need someone to hold your hand, Marsha has a cookbook. She has a recipe book. She also has a subscription box that she can help you step by step so you can learn to make some of these really nutritious, healthy, dense, delicious tasting desserts. Marsha, thank you so much for your time. Before you go, we just need to hear your website one more time because I want to encourage everyone to support her. Support our Canadian Marsha. She's doing her thing in Calgary, helping people to feel better and live better. If you're having any issues with your health, try different foods. Try gluten-free, try being dairy-free. So Marsha, one more time, your website?
Yes, the website is eatforlifebymarsha.com. That's eatforlifebymarsha.com.
Can I say eat for a long life by Marsha.com? It's eat for life.
Eatforlifebymarsha.com. We'll give you a long life.
That's right, good. Marsha, it was great to see you. Thank you for your time and congratulations on the success, and we can't wait for your second book to come out.
Thank you so much.
So everyone, please follow, support, visit her website, support her on social media. And she put out the challenge. If you have a great recipe that you want to tweak or you want the gluten-free version or the dairy-free version, send it to her and see what she can do. Maybe she can make a Jamaican rum cake that's gluten-free. You never know. Send it to her. Thanks for your time. Great to be back. Nice to see everybody. Please, it's hot out there. Stay hydrated. Have a great week. Remember, your health is in your hands. It's totally up to you, and you can change your life one bite at a time. See you next week at 360 Wellness. Take care.
Do you want to be your own boss and make income or extra income with flexible schedule? Welcome to Keen & Courier. Keen & Courier works as a marketplace platform connecting customers who need something delivered with drivers that are willing to serve them. Courier with any vehicle, better trip allocation, and cash out your earnings whenever you want. Download our driver apps today to sign up.
We've got MP Sahota, Minister of Parliament from Brampton North.
And I've downloaded my app as well. Encourage all your viewers to do the same because nothing is easier than having, your favorite program.
Make sure to download our app on iOS or Android, GBKM on either platform.